Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for this video today, and I think you all are going to be really excited as well because my handbag collection video is definitely one of my most watched videos. If you haven't watched it, I will leave it linked above and below. And today, drum roll as you could guess it, this is an addition to my handbag collection. I'm going to be talking about my newest luxury handbag purchase, and it's probably not what you think it is. So, first of all, I want to give a little bit of backstory, and then of course I'll go into actually showing you the bag, why I bought it, etc., etc. And so, yeah, basically, if you would have told me last year, so last year I made the decision, which I also touched on in my video, that I want to buy bags and just things in general more intentionally. And I really wanted to buy sort of a new bag for each like half and sort of build out my collection slowly because they're expensive, but also then it helps me really think long term. I think a lot longer about what it is that I want, what I'm gonna use, like why I need it. For something that's really expensive, I just think it makes sense to purchase things in this way, for me personally. So, if you would have told me last year, I would have told you that this bag would have been like a 30-inch Birkin Epsom leather Hermes bag. But given, I mean, there's a few reasons, but honestly, to be perfectly straightforward, it feels like a weird time in the world right now to be buying a Birkin bag. And once again, to each their own, but for me personally, I was gonna buy it when I got a particular promotion. I did get said promotion, but the stock market's tanking. I feel like futures are just a little more unstable. And for me, it just didn't feel like the right time to be purchasing a bag like this. It just felt weird to me. And I don't ever wanna buy something and feel guilty or feel nervous, or I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me emotionally at this time. And I started thinking more and more about sort of what I needed and what my next bag purchase was going to be. And even last year, it was very clear to me that I needed some type of like tan or brown bag because, as you've seen in my collection, like everything's pretty much black and gold just because I wear a ton of black. That's the colorway that I sort of favor. And the other thing was that I don't really have a good spring summer bag at all. And so that was also something I was looking forward to. I didn't want it to be overly summery. Like I didn't want it to be like a basket bag or something that's like that on the nose. I still do live in New York City, so I needed something that's like elegant but still gives off that almost more like rustic sort of summer vibes. So I think once you see the bag, you'll definitely understand. And then the other thing was I wanted to go more vintage. And I realize now, actually looking back at all my bags, is that most of them are vintage except for my Bottega bag. My Bottega bag was really the only bag from my luxury bag collection that was brand new. And I will say I prefer purchasing things secondhand. It's so weird to me because I never really thought of myself as a vintage shopper in the traditional sense. Like I don't go to thrift stores or anything like that and sift through things, but I do shop secondhand online. I buy things from The RealReal a lot, like all the time. And actually, I realized as I was looking at bags that it's a really great way to purchase vintage, but also vintage handbags. And so I started going down this rabbit hole, and I found this particular vintage handbag, but I actually also found a lot of other really awesome vintage handbags. So I'm gonna leave all of the ones that I thought were really fantastic linked down below, so you can check them out. I mean, there's Gucci, there's Mulberry, there's Ferragamo, there's so many different brands. And honestly, I think it's a really great way, if this is like your first time purchasing something luxury or designer, I think buying something vintage where you sort of know the history and the history has purpose and meaning within society or within certain timelines. I'm kind of hinting because this bag does, and I'll go into why, but I just think that's a really great way to sort of like get started, because you can get a luxury bag for like $200 to $500. I'm not kidding. And I think that's just a really great way to sort of start building out your collection, especially if you're younger. And so, yeah, let's just dive right into it. Okay. So this is my new bag. And it looks very similar in size to my other bags, which I loved. And so if you couldn't tell by the bamboo handles, this is a Gucci bag. Now you will notice it actually doesn't have any markings that kind of let you know that it's Gucci on it. And actually that's kind of what I like about it, to be honest. I love that it's really understated. And it's got this nice sort of brown suede. I mean, there's definitely signs of wear, but nothing in my opinion that made it not like charming. Like it doesn't look like it's beat up. And it's actually really beautifully made. It's got this gorgeous interior. It has a nice little button in there. And yeah, it's like the perfect summer sort of city bag for me. So let me walk you through the backstory about this bag. So this is the mini Diana bag from Gucci. And the reason it's called the Diana bag is because Princess Diana, of course, wore this bag a lot. I'll try to insert some pictures if I can, but this was one of her go-to bags. And ironically, I actually did a lot of research and I discovered that I own my Lady Dior, of course, and my Hermes Cali are also bags that Princess Diana happened to wear a lot. So I think we had very similar taste, just saying. But yeah, she loves a very classic structured handbag, loves a top handle, loves when it has a strap and a top handle. This one does not, unfortunately, but I think the larger one might. Granted, I don't like a huge handbag. I think I'm a small person and I just feel like, I don't know, I can't go back to that world where we have really big handbags, but some people like them. So I actually love the mini version of this one. The non-mini version is sort of more like a tote bag. And this is a really nice mixture of suede on the front, but then you have leather. And I actually love that you have 5 feet on the bottom, just for like extra protection. So it's an incredible quality. So I love the history of this bag and I love the context of it all. And the cool part about it, and actually this is what I really love about vintage in general, is that brands bring back looks. They go back into their archives and they sort of just reinvent designs in a more modern way. So very recently, Gucci just brought back actually the mini Diana bag. And it does actually have the Gucci now, like the little G's right here, but they brought the bamboo handled bags back, and particularly the Diana back, in a big, big way. I think they realized that this was such a signature to the brand for so many years that they brought it back. So I kind of love that I bought the inspiration and the source of the brand new bag. Like I feel like I'm almost ahead of the curve, if you know what I mean. So I just really love that sentiment and that just paying tribute, I guess, to sort of like where these styles have come from. I think that that's really special. And so yeah, I just feel like this bag is perfect. It's very special. It also had a really lovely price tag, I will say. So a beautiful thing about purchasing vintage, and particularly one that doesn't really have like the markings, AKA the like logos of a luxury brand, is that it's usually less expensive. And so this bag, I purchased it for $395, which for a Gucci bag is kind of crazy. And so, yeah, they do have a black version of this, which I will leave linked below. Same size, everything, same bamboo handles. It's just black. And I believe that one might have been slightly more expensive. It might have been like $450 or $500. And there's also a cream version that's all leather, which was a little bit more expensive, I think, because it was all leather. And that one I think was around $695. So there's definitely other options if you like this bag, even though it is vintage. So it's like one of a kind, but I'll link all those, like I said. So yeah, so that just got me kind of thinking and falling in love with this concept of buying the original and buying this like, so I don't think I said this, they came out with this bag in 1991. Like I mentioned, Princess Diana loved it. She wore it all the time. And so the fact that it's been 30 years now and they're bringing back almost a little over 30 years, they're bringing back this bag, and the fact that you can still purchase the original of this bag, I just think is so cool. I don't know, does anyone else nerd out about vintage stuff like that? I'm sure you guys do, but anyway, so that is what led me to my newest bag purchase. And then segue, this is actually sort of bringing me into my next bag purchase. So like I said, I want to buy 2 bags every year. And so this is my one bag for the year, like spring, summer type bag. And then I started going down this Princess Diana rabbit hole, and I was sort of looking at articles of like all of the bags that she carried a lot, just because it seems like we have very similar style. And so I was like, okay, like what else was she really into? And I started seeing this Ferragamo bag that she loves to carry all the time. And once again, started going down a rabbit hole on the RealReal. And I will say the modern day version of it is actually even more similar. They really didn't do much reimagining at all to the 1990s Ferragamo style that Princess Diana wore. And so it's even crazier because if you can snag one of the vintage bags, it looks so similar to the modern day bag, except for you're talking like $300 price tag versus like a $2,100 price tag. So my next bag purchase, I'm really hoping is to get, I will insert a photo, but a similar type Ferragamo bag. Once again, it has all the things that I love. It has a nice sort of medium small size. It has a top handle and a strap, a shoulder strap, which is great. I would love this in a tan or a black, even though I know I don't really need any more black and gold. Honestly, I do need a black and silver bag because having only black and gold is slightly problematic. I do have shoes and things with silver hardware, and sometimes I don't love the mix of it. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, this is my newest purchase, and I kind of gave you a little spoiler about what my next purchase is gonna be, but that is my plan in terms of purchasing handbags for this year. So let me know what you think. Let me know if there's like a particular vintage bag that you're really into or a brand that you've been lusting after. I'm very curious. And yeah, I will see you all in my next video.